We are here today to wrap up our session live and in Barbados, and I'll save the Welcome Barbados bit for the DG. I certainly wish to acknowledge the President of DG Sonia. We also have amid our group this afternoon, DG Louis from District 720 and his lovely wife Amanda. So glad to see you here. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished past district governors. I see PGG David, PGG Lisle, who's at our head table. I saw PGG Roger. I didn't see PGG Wadi, but if he's around somewhere, welcome. Glad to have you here. DEG Leslie, you're this close. Okay. I'm sure you're excited about it. The DGs in waiting, Brian as well as Debbie, who are already on the governor's trail. Glad to have you both here today. PGG Lisle, you know, you're looking very relaxed today. I don't know why. Our district secretary-elect, Alana, who's at our head table, has been a tremendous source of support to the district team and training team. So thank you so much, Alana. Distinguished district leaders, to those who are joining us virtually, we miss your presence here. We will try our best to bring things alive and keep you engaged. The usual Zoom protocols are in effect. Mics are on mute. For those persons who are joining us virtually, you need to select your channel in the usual fashion, French or English. PP Leah, we miss you, but I know you're out there and you'll be manning our Q&A box today, and it is a webinar for the virtual persons, and so you place your questions in the Q&A box and not the chat box. Sean and the IT team, Adrian and Graham, thanks in advance for your impeccable support that brought us here today. Our French support team, Vicky, Natalie, Mavis, will also be working in the background. I'm Liz Cox, and I'm your moderator for this afternoon session. Some of you know me by voice. Now you're meeting me in person, all right? It is my pleasure, my distinct pleasure, to invite DG Sonia to formally welcome you to Barbados. DG Sonia.
Distinguished Rotarians, we reach. Welcome to Barbados. Welcome to PETS 2022, Conference 2022. The team in Barbados has really put on a lot of stuff for you. I'm actually overwhelmed. I cannot believe it's actually happening. We are extremely happy to have you. The program is tight. We know that you have transitioned from serving to change lives, and now you're imagining Rotary. What a wonderful way to start the next Rotary year as we journey with our first Rotary International president, female president, Jennifer Jones. Today, it is my pleasure to sit in the outgoing seat for my friend Leslie and wish all of you the journey that you've made being here today, both as incoming officers, presidents and secretaries, incoming AGs, those are for the first timers. We have some seasoned AGs in the group. So this journey is the start of what will be the best years in Rotary of your lives. Thank you very much for coming. I wish you all the very best now and from July. Remember that this district, 7030, is a fabulous district. We're here to support you, even as we step out of our seats and let the new team in. We're here to ensure that you have the best experience in Rotary that you can have. Thank you so much and welcome to Barbados.
Thank you, DG Sonia. And in the usual fashion, to open our session, I'd like to invite DGE Leslie to take to the mic and open her session.
Good afternoon, all. It is indeed a pleasure to be here. It's indeed a pleasure to see us face to face after so many years. Indeed, we've been seeing you on Zoom for the last 8 weeks, so to speak. And it's so good to see you here in person and getting to know you. I see a lot of my old friends here, a lot of newfound friends. And I really wish we have an enjoyable time as we commence our final day of pets. So I too would like to welcome and thank DG Sonia for her warm words. Thank you for joining us. I know you have had a very busy schedule and really appreciate your being here with us today. Thank you. DG Louis, it's so good to see you here. Fantastic. Thank you for making the voyage to join us. We appreciate it. And I want to welcome all our PDGs. I mean, Liz has already mentioned you by name, so I just want to welcome. And here's Wadi coming in. Thank you, Wadi. Welcome. DGN, Debbie, DGN and Brian, at some point in time. Our AGEs incoming. My district training team, district secretary-elect, president-elect, and secretary-elects. Welcome and thank you for being here. I know you have waited long and hard for this, and we are here finally in person. Today's PETS concludes our weeks of training. As you realize, we started from February, and today is our 7th PETS training session. We have stretched it out. You were never too tired to attend. You were never bored. They were short and sweet. And we know that we finished with you wanting more. And I can assure you there'll be more to come as we go along. So we know we have rekindled that spirit in you, that spirit of learning to know more and more about your positions in Rotary, and I can assure you there's a lot more to come. We have aligned our PETS training with Rotary's priorities, and welcome President-elect Juan. Good to have you here. And we trust that what has transpired over the weeks would really have motivated you, inspired you as you go into your club leadership in come July 1. So as we sit today to listen to PDG Lisle, who will deliver a presentation on budgeting. So I urge you to listen, pay close attention as we move into his presentation. Okay, Lisle? Thank you very much.
As you all know, budgeting is very important, and budgeting is not the remit of the treasurer. And I'm sure that PDG Leslie will explain that to you. But before we go there, I'd like to introduce DGE. Yes, I just keep too many L's, right? Past District Governor Lisle. I know when I asked him to send a bio, he was like, Liz, everybody knows me. So I'm like, okay, we do have some new persons as well who may not know you. So here I go. DG Lisle is a team leader from District 7-30, and he served as District Governor in the year 2021. He joined the Rotary Club of St. Lucia in December 1983, 37 years as he was then 37 years as a Rotarian. Now, he served in several roles on the board, including Club Service Director and President of his club in 1988-89. He took a bold step in 1992 and sought and received approval from his club to form a new Rotary club that included women. So power to DG Lisle, PDG Lisle. With the help of a small group of Rotarians, the Rotary Club of Rosilette was chartered on March the 5th, 1993, and DG Lisle went on to serve as its charter president. Little club with big ideas, as he called it back then, probably still is, chartered with 28 members, 10 of whom were women. Currently, 27 of the 44 members are active, and they are female members as well. 27 of those are female members. Since then, DG Lisle served the club on the board in several capacities, and notably as a treasurer, a position he held for several years. DG Lisle served the district as assistant governor on 4 occasions and led Rotary's relief response to Hurricane Thomas in St. Lucia in 2010, while serving as assistant governor to PDG Tony Watkins. In 2017, DG Lisle facilitated the first satellite club in District 7030 on behalf of his club. He and his wife, Maggie, journeyed for more than 2 years to every meeting of that club. In 2017, he was nominated for the role of district governor and became the official nominee at the district conference in Suriname in April 2018. DG Lisle shares the vision of Rotary International, and his vision for Rotary for District 7030 is one where the entire Rotary family unites to increase their impact across the district while having fun and looking out for each other. He's a strong advocate for the core values of Rotary and stresses that integrity must never be compromised. He also believes that kindness is transformational. Both DG Lisle and his wife Maggie are multiple Paul Harris Fellows and major donors, and DG Lisle is a member of the Paul Harris Society. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in welcoming DG Lisle. And could we have the budget on screen, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz. Do I need to raise this a little bit? Liz is only about 4 feet. District Governor Sonia is still here? She's gone. Okay, all right. Okay, and District Governor Louis. The District Governor-elect, Leslie, District Secretary-elect, Alana, our District Trainer, Liz, and our District Governor nominee designate, Debbie. Past District Governors, you all welcomed me to the club last year, and as PDG Hervé used to say, we're not past dead and gone. We're in fact pretty darn good. So, bonjour, mes amis, Français, Martinique, Guadeloupe, French Guyane, and my friends from the Dutch-speaking territories. It's great to have you here. Now, it's been billed that I came to talk about budgeting, but before today, I thought I was coming to talk about sex on the beach. Now, those of you who drink alcohol will know that that is a perfectly acceptable drink. And I thought we were going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of sex on the beach. But, you know, I plan to come into the middle and talk to people and call people out. I'm just a little worried that without my mask on, I might be deemed to be a hazard to your health. So maybe I should stay here, and I will see if I can find those on whom I choose to pick from here. But my friends, what a wonderful time for you to come in as presidents and secretaries in Rotary District 7030. The most amazing district, Louis, forgive me, but the most amazing district in the whole of our 2 zones. We're even more diverse than Louis thinks we are. We have one more country than he has, although he has 87 clubs and we only have 74, but we're catching up fast. Friends, you are here right now in the era of serving to change lives, but you have the exciting opportunity to imagine Rotary. What an amazing theme. I think it's the best theme that Rotary International has had since our president, Barry Racine, who said, be the inspiration. And if you can combine your service, serving to change lives, and imagining what it is that you can do with your clubs, imagine the future that you can create, and let's go get it. But to do that, you must have a plan. There's no point in any of you thinking that you will get to July 1 and you don't have a plan. Now, District Governor-elect Lisle has sent out planning sheets to all of you. And thanks to Liz, we sent out a budget worksheet, which is on the Rotary International website. I just simply took it, and with the French of my friend René from Guadeloupe, we translated it into French. So we have it in English and French, and you can use it, abuse it, disregard it, but make sure that you have a plan. And to have a plan, my friends, you can't just have a plan without having a financial plan. And that's where the excitement comes. This is where you have to remember that it is your plan. It does not belong to your treasurer. It does not belong to your club admin. It's yours. This is where the buck stops, with you. So please, please remember to sit with every member of your board and make sure that they think about everything you're going to do and translate it into numbers. Correct, Liz? Translate it into numbers. Now, we have plenty of finance people in the group. So, you know, what is it the Bajans say about, you know, teaching your grandmother how to suck eggs? That's what Bajans say, David? I believe so, you know. And that really came down to when people used to eat turtle eggs. You know, used to squeeze the turtle eggs. So I don't want to tell you how to do a budget. All I want to tell you is the tools are there. We've provided you with the simplest version that you can find. And if you want to make it more complicated, that's fine too. But remember, the person next year may not be an accountant, may not be a finance person, and you have to transfer the knowledge from one year to the next. That is the mark of a true leader. You can't leave your club just in limbo. You must make sure that the team coming in can take over seamlessly from you. So I'm going to call upon my friend Jean-Marc from the Rotary Club of Fort-de-France Sud, because I know Jean-Marc he's an incoming assistant governor. I know that he has done budgeting and planning. And Jean-Marc, did you have access to the budget that we sent out? Yes, you have it. So perhaps you might want to point us in some directions that we may think about in terms of the budget. I'm putting you on the spot, my friend, I'm sorry. But yes, I was just putting my friend Jean-Marc on the spot. But I want to just reiterate something that Jeremy just said. He said, the best thing, the most important thing you can do for your members and your clubs is to do the basic things right. Don't forget that. I remember listening right here I was in Trinidad, to the president of BHP Bilton speaking about the success of that company. And that's a huge company. And he said, do the small things right. So what I'm trying to impress on your mind now is none of you in this room, I am sure of it because I am one, none of you in this room really enjoy the prospect of budgeting. Anybody here who loves to do budgeting, raise your hand. Remember the four-way test. Agnes, yeah, Agnes is brilliant at it actually. And Agnes, I'm going to call upon you shortly. But Agnes, was the one that started really kicking our butts in the district to make sure that we changed our financial reporting and we came into line with IFRS, etc. And I'm pleased to say that we have got there. And it was a team effort to do that. But back to, what was it? The slippery nipple? No, that's also a drink, right? Sorry, you guys might get the impression that I might be in need of a beverage, and yes, I am. I'm not going to keep you here past the time, but I know I have to complete my mandate, because if I don't, Liz may be 4'10", but she is somebody to reckon with, okay? My mother was only 5 foot, so I can imagine. So there is another saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. Now, I had written this down in French and in Dutch, but in deference to District Governor Louis and my friends in Martinique who know I don't speak French, I will leave it to you to translate for yourselves. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So I see my president-elect in the room, Ernest. He's a tall guy, you can't miss him. And I want you, Ernest, to remember what I said earlier. The budget is merely transforming your plan of action into figures. You need to plan for how you're going to raise the money to pay for your projects. And the template you have gives you a little details of how to do that, how many tickets you can sell, or you're going to sell at what price. That gives you X amount of dollars, etc., etc. It's not sexy. It's not what you want to occupy your time with. But your plan as the president, your plan that you have developed with your board, cannot succeed if you can't fund your projects. How many in this room have seen a plan to do a project and get all excited and then find out you can't do it because you don't have the money? How many? Let me see you. Only Daniel. Okay, Rams. All right. Well, I have. I have. And I remember one time we brought a famous singer to St. Lucia. And we failed to plan. We misjudged the market. And we ended up having to dig into our coffers for about $20,000 to pay this guy. It was David Rudder, actually, right? It was, people just had forgotten who David Rudder was in St. Lucia, right? Sorry to tell you, but it's true. So those are the things, you know, when you're planning, you have to think about what you're doing. If you're going to have an event, make sure it's low risk. Make sure it's low risk. If the risk is high, do not do it as much as you would love to do it. So, I know that we sent out this budget presentation to all of you, and I am about to invoke the four-way test again. How many of you actually read it? Okay, we have about a quarter, which, you know, that's pretty good, you know, as far as I'm concerned. About a quarter of you actually had a look at it. But you, as the presidents-elect, have the responsibility. You cannot say, my treasurer failed me. When you stand before your club, you say, I failed you. So you must insist that your treasurer translates your budget for you to understand. And you know, the financial crash took place because people who were very smart were too proud to say, hang on, I don't understand. So presidents, you may not be accountants. You may not be finance people, but it is your plan. It is your budget, and it is your success and also your failure. So what we're going to do now, because we have a bit of time and I don't want to keep you back unnecessarily, you will notice that I have not attempted to go into the minutiae of a document which would put you all to sleep, right? Because we have the slippery nipples and the sex on the beach, and we even have Banks beer and a few other things that we will participate in the manager's cocktail when we're finished. So I am the only thing standing between you So my friends, this is your opportunity. If you have any questions about the process, I will solicit the help of Agnes and Jean-Marc and Renee, and even my friend Maurice, who is more financially literate than he pretends to be, right? Roger, he is our district finance chair. I will invoke their assistance. You see, I'm only an accountant, and therefore budgets are really low on my priority list. But can I ask if there are any questions based on what we presented to you, or you know, what the practice in your club is? Does your club have a plan? Do you, as president-elect, have a plan? This is PETS, and conference starts now. Your year is just around the corner. It's not far away, trust me. And to hit the ground running, Agnes, tell me, you have a plan?
Trying to get there.
You're trying to get there.
Trying to get the income board members there as well.
And your treasurer is producing a budget for that plan.
Correct.
You see, I could pick on Agnes because I knew her answer would be yes. And I don't want to pick on anybody in case your answer is no. But if your answer is no, know that you have the support that you need. You can come to us at the district level. Don't be ashamed to say, I do not understand. We all have been there. There's many things we don't understand in life, and how, you know, this is such a fantastic gathering. The friendship, you know, Jeremy quoted 2 quotes from Paul Harris. But my favorite is friendship is the foundation upon which Rotary was built. On no less firm foundation could it have stood. So we, friends in this room, we're friends. You need help, get help. Call upon your other president, like, hey, you have a budget? You have a plan? What you all doing? Share, because we will be stronger for sharing. So, who else? Who else? Jean-Marc, you know I can't speak French. So it's being, somebody has a hand up? Where? Ah, Ernest, my very own president-elect.
Ernest, there's a mic so that everybody can hear and the people who vote for me as well. Thank you.
He's probably going to tell you that I've been bullying him, but don't believe him.
Yes, you will. I have a question based on what you just said. You told us before you start that do not overspend. Well, do not make your budget plan any project that you know you do not have the cash for. Now, from my club, we are a very small club, and we almost never have enough money to start any project. So how do you make a balance between having a project, knowing that you need the cash, planning for it? Where do you stop in terms of the budget for a project where you may go ahead and do raffles and so on to make up the money? But where do you stop? Where do you, if I have to take your advice as to not over planning in terms of budget, where do you stop?
Okay, so that's actually a very good question. And the answer to that is that the previous year, this is the year you've been president-elect. So you should have had your plans in place, and you should basically be involved in the fundraising in the year before you become president. But also, friends, don't forget that Rotarians are the doers. Rotary started the End Polio Project. We've put in a minute amount overall, but who started it? We started it. They didn't believe we could do it. So dream big. Look for corporate partners. Look for partners in different service organizations. You're not alone. So in the year now, before you start, if you have an audacious program, don't forget the Rotary Foundation is your strongest partner. Put together a plan that will get you a global grant. So when you do your project, it's not just the meager funds that you've been able to raise in your club, but it is your partners. You could have, we built a water tank in St. Lucia. The cost was about $500,000 EC. We in St. Lucia put in the grand sum of 5,000 EC dollars. The district put in 5,000 US dollars. And our friends in Florida raised all the rest of the money. Think about that, right? Think about that. If you have a project and you have the tenacity, as Jeremy said, you have the courage to go out there and do it, people will support you. So I hope I've answered your question, Ernest. Did we have any others? Can I get a little water?
Yes, good afternoon. DG Lisle, I don't have an accounting background. I hate figures. But I recall that in a previous situation, I've used cash flow projection to help me to be able to manage more effectively. I like to be structured. So I am wondering if you recommend that I use a cash flow projection in this case. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you can work on it, you see, if you decide you're going to do a project in May in your year, you do have some time, right? So if you build up and say, okay, we're going to do a boat ride, we're going to do, a concert, we're going to do this, we're going to raise these funds, and you make sure that your plans are good, your cash flow, you will know that the cash you're receiving are towards that project. So absolutely, that's the best way for you to actually see it. This is how our cash is going to look. But not everybody can do a proper cash flow statement, because a proper cash flow statement will tie back into your statement of financial position, etc. So you know that your debits and credits have worked out and somebody didn't fudge it for you. I mean, I've done financial projections for some pretty big projects in my life, and I have come back to the people asking me to do it and said, your project is not viable. What did they do? They took my project, my work, and they went to somebody else, and they convinced the bank. And what happened? The project failed. In fact, I think, Leighton, you would know of that supposed mall on the highway to Rodney Bay that has been there now for 10 years. But because people will not accept that the cash flow projection that was done was correct, and you couldn't afford it, right? So yeah, absolutely great question. Any other questions? Jean-Marc, I can't let you off. All of a sudden, Jean-Marc can't speak English. Pardon, je ne parle pas anglais. Anybody else has any questions? Because, the worst thing for me to do is stand up here and talk, and you all have had enough. But just remember, it's your year. Imagine what you can do. Imagine what you can make. This is your opportunity. Hopefully you're not going to do it again. I know Ramsay is doing it again, but it takes a brave man to be president more than once, right? Because it's not, leading leaders and leading volunteers it's a challenge. And it's a challenge that you all have accepted. And that's phenomenal, because we're doing it for one of the greatest humanitarian organizations in the world. So, I congratulate you, and I'm very proud of you, but I also don't like to talk more than I have to. No other questions? Charles, in the back there, you haven't even taken off your mask yet. Yes, absolutely.
Back home, we have decided to abandon them all completely. As of midnight on Monday, Grenada dropped all COVID protocol around it. And the financial budget stand up.
That is the question. Anybody else would like to ask questions or make a comment? Have I missed anything?
I'm just checking online. Did you have any questions?
Daniel, you have some amazing projects going on in St. Vincent. And I know it's taken some time to get the budgets going, etc. Is there anything that you want to share with us that you have learned, because you have been integrally involved in the relief efforts in St. Vincent? You want the
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Rotarian Daniel, President-elect Rotary Club of St. Vincent. First of all, thank everyone who supported the efforts of the Rotary Club in St. Vincent, St. Vincent South during our volcanic eruption, and continue to support. I think we had some great leadership from DG Lisle at the time, now PDG Lisle, and from DG Sonia. In terms of budgeting, we learned some very hard lessons, especially that even though you get relief funds coming in, it's not the easiest thing to spend money, especially when it came from donors, right? Because you want to spend the money on the best thing in the best way possible, in the most effective way. And at the same time, that process could get hindered, especially when you have to be extremely accountable to your donors, and you have to also balance the cost benefit analysis. In other words, how far will my dollar go? And not just that, you have to also balance, is this a short-term effect? Am I just helping people to get from one day to another 4 months past the eruption? Or am I helping somebody to significantly recover and put themselves in a better position? So we were in a situation where a lot of money was there, and it was hard to spend the money because you needed to have projects with the right, focus. And what helped fundamentally, I don't know if PDG David is here.
He was.
What helped fundamentally, I don't know if everybody uses this, but the app sheet. There's this tool that we were trained on, the Rotary app sheet. I don't know if there's a better way to call it.
Yeah, it was developed by 7020.
Right. It was
Really at the
developed by
time of the
district.
earthquake, the first earthquake.
Right.
Yeah.
And what that helps us to do, because what we had is a project matrix, which helped organize us as well. But this app sheet has a very simple template. I'm a project management professional myself, but still, volunteer projects are a whole different ballgame. And this app sheet has simple, name of the project, the objectives, where is the funding coming from, what is the evidence to show that you have support, because sometimes you have different sources of funding, who will be executing the project, what is the timeline, what is the rationale, what is the sustainability and feasibility of this project. So you have that sheet. It's once you share it, it's automatically updated for everyone. The district was able to see it. The district team was able to see it and approve the funds. And we were able to get projects rolling in that way, instead of emails and meetings and, and just like that, we have, completed several projects and have others in the pipeline. So I think that could be a good tool. Every club will have different ways. And one question, if I could leave with a question, is how do you, as a club, balance between executing service projects and also staying viable as a club, being able to finance yourselves? Because, for example, you want people to stay in your club and not feel that it is also financially draining them. Especially, we're with COVID, we're in COVID environment, wars going on, and these kind of things. How do you find that balance?
That's a great question, Daniel. And maybe I can throw that out. I have some answers, but I would like to throw it out to members of this group. How do you go out there and raise money for your projects? You're asking your members to do everything, put money in there, and then you turn around and say, hey guys, we don't have enough money to send our president-elect and secretary-elect to pets. So we need to raise more money, or you all need to put your hand in your pocket again. How do you deal with that? Yes.
Adrian Saunders, Rotary Club of St. Augustine West. Right. I think that the answers lie in what you mentioned initially. You have a financial plan, and a financial plan is not something which is theoretical. You have different avenues of service, and they will identify the projects that they hope to engage in a given year. There's a cost in a number of instances. Cost not only in terms of funds, but also in terms of time. And that has to be taken and brought into the budget for the club. So it's not something which you're going to be saying it's hoping. And where there are shortfalls, the club has to identify ways and means in which those shortfalls can in fact be addressed. And PDG, Roger, I remember in terms of address at our club, was speaking about the way in which San Fernando Club has been able to get corporate sponsors. We do it to a certain extent also. It has in fact been one of the largest avenues of revenue for the Rotary Club of St. Augustine West. But secondly, when you see, a financial plan is like setting SMART goals. It's not something which is airy-fairy. So you must have that acronym SMART on it. And you need a team, not just a treasurer, who will be reporting on an ongoing basis to the board in terms of the performance of that financial plan. You need where projects are going to be executed under the plan for a budget to be done by that committee. And the budget has to be consistent with what was in the overall budget or is reviewed. So it's ongoing work. And I think that if clubs attach the importance that is needed to a financial plan, not just, I'm not talking here, but a financial plan, they get the results that you want. But it is something you have to work on an ongoing basis. Monthly reports, board meetings, informing members, but you got to actively work it.
Great response, Adrian. Great response.
There's one other point that you mentioned, which I think is critical. Continuity. I am not one of the belief that every year you have a new person. There's continuity. I'm taking over for 22-23, and it's not going to be a whole new plan for the Rotary Club of St. Augustine West, you know. It's going to be looking at the plan that is in existence for 21-22, seeing the things on the plan that we can move forward with, those that we would say, all right, going to fall off. It's continuity.
Absolutely. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucette. I'm from Curaçao. Actually, our club has a totally different approach. Whatever we do for ourselves, like coming to the conference or whatever, we pay for ourselves. So we have two different budgets. We raise money in the community for community service, and whatever we do for whatever is our priorities, the money comes from our pocket. So it's totally different budget, and we don't mix it, because we say if we raise money from the community, we put it back into the community. That's the difference.
It's Lisette, right? Yes. Lisette, you know, when I joined Rotary, that's how it was. We all paid for ourselves. But we realize that the face of Rotary is changing. And as we bring in our Rotaractors into Rotary, they haven't got the financial means to pay for themselves to do these things, which then gives rise to us having a budget also for administration, which is, as you say, totally separate from the money raised from the public for your charity projects. So, you know, we do little raffles and barbecues and things, and we invite our friends, and we can use that money to pay for our club admin. But yes, I mean, until quite recently, I paid for everything, you know, my soirees to the district conference and all of that, which probably was a good idea because I was exploring the slippery nipples and the sex on the beach and all of those things, you know. Those are wonderful drinks that we have developed in this part of the world. Any other questions? No other questions?
No, right here, not a question, but, you know, persons funding themselves is fine, and I think that's something that people can do if they wish to. But I think if we are going to encourage the younger persons who are joining the helm of leadership in our district, we have to support them. And I think that if clubs plan and they budget for someone to attend the conference, it should be funded by the club. It should not be the burden of the person who's coming to the conference because they're taking over leadership position. This is a voluntary organization. Not everybody have deep pockets. If it's a choice, they want to, you know, support themselves, that's fine. But I think it's a responsibility of the club to be able to fund that person, because you know what's going to happen? You'll have people refusing to serve as president and as secretary because they will say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to fund that out of my pocket. It's just a different economic time. The dynamics have changed completely, and we have to support our future leadership. And we can only do that by planning properly in our budgeting.
Sure. And if our French friends did not catch all of what Liz was saying, please say so, because she does speak quickly.
Okay, you are completely right, because the Rotary Actors, we sponsor the Rotary Actors completely. And also we have a plan now to have, like, Rotary want us to diversify. So people join in the Rotary now always have the financial means. So the club will sponsor half of their fees, so they can also be part of the club. So that's a different way of approaching too.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything to add? A.G. Layton, I see you looking like you want to say, I know you must want to say something. A.G. Layton says he will talk to me afterwards. I know he's my boss right now, so I'm in trouble. Any other questions or comments before I leave the podium? Of course, you're free to contact any one of us for information, for advice. Just make sure you don't come to July 1st without a plan and without a proper financial plan. So thank you all very much. I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm no longer the one standing between you and the beach, okay?
All right, thank you, PGG Lisle. I know when I started off, I said that PGG Lisle is a team leader, but I think he's more of a team player, based on what he's said. You're saying this afternoon. So thank you so much. I know that many of you might have expected more financial information and probably going through the budget sheet that was shared with you. But we really wanted to have an interactive session, and I think we've achieved that. We wanted to hear from you as well. We would also wanted to ensure that the knowledge shared, certainly the view shared by PDG Lisle gets through to you in terms of planning so that you can execute your projects as the years unfold, and to get your PEs and SEs to attend conference. I think that's very key. I'm very passionate about that. I think that if we don't get those young people coming out to conferences, we will not be building a good future in our district. So please let us plan effectively and let us try to fund those expenses to the conference as well.
My fellow Rotarians, we have invited RID, the elect Jeremy, to say a few words to us, to present a brief message to us. And so he's on with us. And before he commences, Jeremy, I would like to welcome you to our PETS meeting this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I will now proceed to do your bio. Jeremy Hurst is a 33-year Rotarian and past president of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. He served as the District 2013-2014 District 7020s governor in the French, English, and Dutch-speaking Northern Caribbean. He's been a member of Zone 34's regional coordinator and regional Rotary Foundation coordinator teams, as well as of Rotary International's membership committee and its joint committee on partnerships. Jeremy will serve Rotary as its international director for 22-24. Jeremy and Michelle are major donors and members of the Bequest, Paul Harris, and Polio Plus societies. He's a recipient of the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and has been heavily involved in managing Rotary's disaster relief efforts in the Caribbean. He is a passionate supporter of WASH initiatives and a founding member of HandWash, the audacious Rotary-led partnership bringing clean water, improved sanitation, and hygiene to all the citizens of Haiti. He is similarly passionate about finding lasting solutions to Rotary's membership challenges and is currently working with Zones 33 and 34 regional leadership teams to build a membership action plan. Born in Rochester, England, he relocated to the Cayman Islands in 1988 and owns and operates the IRG group of companies, providing a range of property services to the Cayman and other Caribbean markets. He and Michelle love traveling and making the most of the unique opportunities to serve, build lifelong friendships, and enjoy the fellowship that Rotary offers. My fellow Rotarians, it's my pleasure to welcome Rotary International Director-elect Jeremy to join us at our meeting and to present to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor-elect Leslie. Governor Sonia, past district governors, many of you, assistant governors, and most importantly, of course, presidents and secretaries-elect here today, and treasurers-elect as well, if there are any of you. I'm very interested. I think I'm going to stay afterwards to hear Lisle finish his conversation about sex on the beach. We don't get too much of that. I'm up here in Evanston right now, so there's not too much of beach going on right now. In fact, the white stuff on the ground is mainly frozen and cold. And I tell people the only white stuff I like on the ground is a beautiful white sand beach. But anyway, that's the beauty what we have from our region. We really wish, Michelle and I, that we were with you in person, and hopefully it'll be some point soon where that's able to happen. And as I said, we're actually at Rotary headquarters in Evanston this week at an important board meeting. We're preparing for the Council of Legislation next week. In fact, I'm sitting here on the ground floor. For those of you who've been in the area a few meters away from the reconstructed Paul Harris office. So I'm amongst Rotary history. And this week or next week, Rotary history will be made again as your representatives from across the world. Every district will be at the Council of Legislation, Rotary's very own parliament, making important decisions that affect all of us as we go forward. And I think past District Governor Lara is your representative here. So if she's coming, I'm looking forward to seeing her in person. It'll be a great experience for her, and there's some important enactments that are being considered that will really set the basis on which Rotary operates for the next 3 years. I'm greatly looking forward to it. And I'm also greatly looking forward to being your director, the director for zones 33 and 34, starting July 1st. I understand, however, our current director, Peter Kyle, will be presenting at your conference on Saturday. He's also been spending quite a bit of time in District 7030 recently, I hear. I understand he's really enjoying the experience of our passionate form of Caribbean Rotary. They're also proud of. Delivers such amazing service at the same time as being such great fun. I understand he had a chance to enjoy some of that fun and some of our region's fine rums as well when he came down, because he came back with a big smile on his face. So he did a great job looking after him. Thank you for that. I also bring warm wishes too from Rotary International President Shekhar, as well as, of course, our president. When I say our president, my president as an incoming director and yours as incoming presidents and secretaries and treasurers, Jennifer Jones. I've been spending a lot of time with her recently, and she's going to be an absolutely amazing president, leading us. And as Lisle said earlier, the theme is just a tremendous one. Imagine Rotary, what a great theme. In addition to that, I bring greetings from President nominee Gordon and the whole of the Rotary International Board and staff. But before I go on, I'd like to recognize your governor line. This team is so important to your Rotary success. So please give them your full support. So District Governor Sonia, you're doing an amazing job this year. District Governor-elect Leslie, I know you're going to continue that on, as will Brian, following you on after as District Governor nominee. And then Debbie, as Debbie Rupchand as District Governor nominee, I think you are now. So many titles in Rotary, so many N's in that name, but it's you'll very soon be DG Debbie, as you will, Brian, as well. And it's so important that we acknowledge this impressive and committed team, and that it goes forward and provides continuity to your district. And I'll talk about that later. But most importantly, I want to recognize the reason we're here, and that's each of you, the presidents-elect, secretaries-elect, and your team, as well as your key support team, the assistant governors. We're talking more about that later as well. And I know District Governor-elect Leslie's aim is for you to leave this PETS with the tools, resources, education, motivation, and inspiration that you'll need to deliver an amazing year to your clubs, and most importantly, to your members. We want you to leave feeling that the future of Rotary in your club and collectively in District 7030 is literally in your hands. No pressure, but that's what's the situation right now. Rotary only happens in your clubs. It doesn't happen at Rotary International. It doesn't happen at district level or at zone level. It happens on the ground in our clubs. And our collective job is to ensure that we provide our members with the best possible experiences in whatever way we can. Rotary is really all about our members' experiences. And if you remember nothing else from this presentation, please remember that. It's all about our members. Excuse me, the lights have just gone in the room I'm in, so I'm going to go. And if you can see me and live with me in the dark, I'll work with it. It must be on an automatic timer. But in any case, so I'm assuming I'm still here. It's not just a black shadow, is it? Okay, good. Okay. So it really is about our members' experiences. And if you remember nothing else from this presentation, remember that. And this is not to diminish the service we do, but we can't do that service without engaged and motivated members. There's also a strong argument for growing membership. This really is. And as President Shaker has stated, let's grow more so we can do more. And also let's remember this is something that you as presidents can directly control. No one else has more power to deliver great experiences to our members, to grow Rotary so we can do more in your communities than each and every one of you. From July 1st, it's in your hands. Rotary's health and well-being is in your hands. In fact, it's in your hands before that too, because your club is watching you as you build your team and plan. They're going to know if you come in well prepared and if you've planned for your year. And they're going to know if you're not. And the key to leadership is having the confidence of your members. And they need to know you put the time and effort in to plan properly so that their experiences and your experiences will be one you can all remember and enjoy. Now, talking about experiences, you have an amazing one coming up ahead of you. Literally the opportunity to have the experience of a lifetime, an opportunity to make a real difference, as I said, in each of your communities. And obviously, just as importantly, inside each of your clubs. But more than that, the most important change, the most important opportunity you have is to enjoy and make a real difference within yourselves. Trust me, you'll be very different at the end of this year. And not just more wrinkles and gray hair. I'm a testament to that. You can see it by year as district governor. But by building a better, stronger, more capable, and more confident individual in yourself. Being president of your Rotary Club is like a crash course MBA in leadership, human resources, and project management. So make the very, very most of it. And today, I'd like to try and leave you with a few nuggets that will hopefully you'll find useful as you imagine your Rotary journey this coming year. Firstly, and perhaps most importantly, don't be the president who sits back at the end of the year and says, oh boy, I wish I could have done that. I wish I should have done that. I really should have done that. And if I could, I would have done that. Don't be that president. And unfortunately, there are too many of them around. As president, you'll not only be given the opportunity, but you've accepted an obligation to make sure that your club is managed, is run in a vibrant, tremendous way. Be the one who grasps this opportunity with both hands and rise to this obligation. And on midnight, June 30th, 2023, know that you did your utmost. You gave it your all. You gave it your best. You left nothing on the field. And if you do that, no one will complain. Show your club, your community, and yourself that we are truly people of action, people of purpose, and people of influence. And you are the leader that does their best to bring these qualities out of your members. We're an amazing organization. We are so close. I mean, I know we call it this close, but I think we've gone past this close. We are so close to eradicating a crippling disease from our planet for only the second time in history. We have only one wild polio virus case this year and only 6 last year. If we keep focused and the funding keeps coming in, we should reach this audacious goal by 2026. Rotary and you have delivered, or will have delivered, transformational change across the world in this way. And we're doing it in other ways too. Whether it's eradicating malaria in Zambia, or bring, as you heard, clean, safe water to the whole of Haiti through another audacious program that I'm involved with, hand wash, or right her home across District Assembly 30s. Some of the things you've done are amazing. The Rotary Club of Barbados, the WASH project you're doing, providing water tanks to schools to ensure uninterrupted supply of potable water, maintaining sanitation and hygiene standards so the students, which helps alleviate disease transmission, impacting the entire school student population. What an amazing program. Rotary Club of Antigua Sundown, the environmental project you do. I had a chance to look through the slide set, courtesy of District Governor-elect Lisle last night, recycling plastic bottles and converting them into planks to make garden benches and tables, easing the volume of plastics going into the landfill and creating employment, educating the community on the benefits of recycling. Another amazing project. And the Rotary Club of Garden City, Georgetown, Guyana, your environmental economic development, Dream Thrive garden project, transforming vacant, undeveloped land into garden growing vegetables. All of these are transformative. In the same way as we're transforming the globe, you are transforming our communities. And to stay relevant as an organization, we need to do that. We need to focus on projects that are transformative in our societies, transformative in our communities, as well as being transformative globally. And although the projects you do may not be as large as Empolia, they are clearly ones that have sustainability, they have ones that are creating great impact, and they are ones that the communities see as being highly relevant to themselves. Similarly, our grants model and our foundation is widely recognized and respected locally and globally. We've just received the highest possible rating from independent charity reviewer, Charity Navigator, for the 11th successful year. Your districts do an amazing job in supporting our foundation and enabling programs like Empolio and Hand Wash to change people's lives, as well as the ones you do on the ground in the most fundamental of ways. Oftentimes, these differences make the difference between sickness and health, poverty and economic survival, and even in some cases, life and death. That's what we do. We create that difference. We create that change. We are the change makers. And for us to do more, we need to grow more. However, as good as we are as an organization providing impactful service, we face challenges at this time like never before. Some of those we face in common with the rest of the world. Recently, COVID is the most recent example where once again, Rotary star shone bright over the past 2 years, just like the navigation star on President-elect Jen's theme logo right here on my lapel. During COVID, we relied upon our Rotary family as an effective support structure, which helped our more isolated members stay in touch and know they were thought of and cared for. We arranged food drives and pivoted, adapting to virtual communication platforms and flexible meeting formats, achieving in a matter of weeks what Rotary International had been trying to get us to do for years. All of a sudden, the most spoken words in Rotary were not the four-way test, but "You're on mute." We then. And I hope I'm not on mute, by the way, right now. I take it not. We then leveraged our expertise in vaccination delivery systems, learned through end polio to help the world deliver COVID vaccines and relief. Now, this is the point I normally talk about some of those other challenges we have, those not so encouraging trends. I remind us that as an organization, we've labored at 1.2 million members for the past 20 years. I'd be saying to you that if this was a global flattening off, we may be able to live with it. After all, most organizations tend to follow that S curve as they grow and they flatten out. But when we look regionally, our numbers are far more concerning. Whilst India, Asia, and Africa and other emerging countries, the picture is one of strong growth. In North America, UK, Australia, and many Western cultures, we're experiencing more like a bell curve than an S curve, with these clubs in these areas exhibiting exasperating downward trends in membership. You probably have also heard the statistic that we brought in and lost 1.2 million members over the past 10 years. And the conclusion that has been from this, that we don't have an attraction problem, we have an engagement and retention problem. However, I'm not in a North American district right now. I'm at home in the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, as the Americans call it. And I couldn't be prouder of the success of the Caribbean districts, and 70-30 in particular, have had in stemming the tide of membership loss and reversing the trend to what appears to be a trend of sustained membership growth. Give yourselves a round of applause for that tremendous achievement against the tide. Believe me, it is noticed in our zones that the Caribbean regions are the ones that are creating the solutions and walking the walk as well as talking the talk. Well done. Congratulations for this amazing success, which I am sure is linked to the tremendously relevant service you deliver to your communities and the experience you deliver for your members. But that said, let's not be complacent. Let's continue to form new clubs, strengthen our existing ones, and make sure we continue to deliver excellent membership experiences to each of our members. And by that, of course, I mean not just Rotary, but Rotaract. They've been elevated, they are members of Rotary, and we as an organization, especially in the Caribbean, understand and respect that. Let's remember, however, and commit to two basic premises. The first one is that our members are our primary customers. Second is that we need to provide these customers with great return on their investment, and return is the quality of the Rotary experience we deliver to them. We need to engage our members effectively and give them the responsibilities they want and the responsibilities they enjoy. So as presidents, take your time when you engage your club. When you ask them, and you should ask them, you shouldn't just assume what they want to do. Go to each member individually. Yes, I said that, individually. At this time, you have time to go and sit down with every member of your club. Find out from them what they enjoy, what they want to do, what they don't like about our clubs. Listen to them. So oftentimes as leaders, we talk, but we don't listen. This is your opportunity to get a real sense of what your club is looking for and what their experience is all about and what they want you to deliver as a president. I did that and I never have regretted it since. So I mentioned Rotaract, and you can only imagine how proud I am of Rotaract and Interact across the Caribbean region. I sit at high-level Rotary meetings where it's rare for districts to have more than a handful of Rotaract or Interact clubs. And I can boast about District 7030's 48 Rotaract clubs, oftentimes running as its own district. Delivering service and member experiences are equal or greater to the most effective Rotary clubs across the world. You have one Rotarian, I hate to normally call names individually, but I'd like to congratulate Giselle Holder, a former Rotaractor. Former Rotaractor who transitioned to become an amazing Rotarian, and I understand it, your district Rotaract chair, but has recently become part of our zone membership coordinators team, working with Mike Dara at Zone 34, helping us to understand and use Rotaract as a pathway to build membership, not only across your district, but across the whole zone. Giselle, District 7030 is a great example of how we can grow Rotary and do more. Keep up the tremendous work. So now let's talk a bit more about Rotary journey you're about to experience. I'm certain you've been spending quite a bit of time imagining the leader you'll want to be and need to be, hopefully with a healthy combination of trepidation and excitement. If you haven't got butterflies in your tummy right now, you never will. and what qualities you'll need to have the stellar year you and your members deserve. By the way, I'm an elect also, so I'm pretty much in the same position as you, and the same emotions apply. I'm excited about the opportunity in front of me, and I'm planning for it. So what are some of these nuggets that I can perhaps offer you in terms of some of the things that you should be as a good leader, a strong leader? Firstly, I'd encourage you to be a compassionate and caring leader. Rotary International's most recent research clearly shows that the primary reason our members stay in our clubs is because they are comfortable with the club culture and environment. But conversely, the primary reason they leave is because they're not. We're not in too many times creating the comfortable, caring environment that our members are looking for. Bear that in mind. District Governor-elect Leslie, I know that one of your priorities also, as well as President-elect Jen's, is on an initiative with diversity, equity, and inclusion to provide the template for an even more caring and inclusive Rotary. And we come from one of the most diverse and I consider equitable and inclusive areas of the world. But we still need to do better. And we should follow the lead that President Jen, elect Jen is taking as we take our first steps of our respective clubs and personal journeys, recognizing that we do, that it may embrace long-term cultural change. It's not just about ticking a box on DEI. At the start of the journey, we'll need to meet our clubs and members where they are, encourage them to a place where our clubs will look more like the communities we serve, achieve greater fairness to all concerned, and deliver a more comfortable and inclusive environment for all our members. Let's use that navigation star, as I said, on Jen's logo, to guide us to imagine a better Rotary through diversity, equity, and inclusion. Secondly, let's be the leaders that actively promote continuity. Bill Gates, who obviously is our amazing partner with the End Polio, the Gates Foundation, he noted a while back that we often overestimate the change we can achieve in 1 year, but significantly underestimate what we can achieve in many. One of our biggest strengths is that Rotary provides professional development opportunities to many of us as possible by refreshing our leadership annually. There'll be another PETS next year with the new president coming in. Yet in many ways, this is also our organization's biggest Achilles heel, creating a lack of continuity and making it harder for us to build year on year. Imagine a Rotary, however, where we are able to build greater continuity into our business model. Imagine the impact we can do with the projects you're doing right now by doing this. A big part of the transformational change we are seeing is the recognition that whilst we can make a mark on our club and district, we really can't be effective in achieving all of our goals in 1 year. And our jobs as current and future leaders is to leave our clubs and districts in a stronger, better, more vibrant place than we found them. And to do that effectively as presidents, you will need to work with your immediate past presidents, your presidents-elect, and where you have them presidents nominees, as well as, of course, your assistant governors to build a multi-year plan to improve the fundamental things we have to do to enhance our members' experiences, support our Rotary Foundation, and ensure we continue to deliver highly relevant, impactful service to our communities. Now, I know your District Governor line, District Governor Leslie, DG Sonia, and PDG Lisle are collaborating and communicating in the process of building stronger support systems for each of you as presidents-elect and your successors. They are truly walking the walk in delivering continuity, and I congratulate them for this. An equally important part of this, and I know is one of District Governor Leslie's priorities, is for you to take a team approach to events and projects and whatever you do. We are truly better when we work together. So support your District Governor-elect in the same way as he will support you. It truly is a reciprocal arrangement of the best possible kind. I'm happy to say that once again, exactly this is happening at the very top of our organization right now. President Shaker meets regularly with President-elect Jen and President-nominee Gordon, and they're collaborating to build a stronger, better Rotary. Whilst at zone level of the past few years with Directors David, Stephanie, Peter, and myself, this is happening right now. Continuity and collaboration build strength and will ensure the success of your clubs and district for the future in a resilient, sustainable manner. One example of a positive outcome from this continuity is Rotary International President Shaker's Empowering Girls Initiative. Some of you may have heard of that, which President Jen will continue with the emphasis that empowering girls leads to empowered women. Another example of how we are stronger and better when we build year on year, enabling us to successfully deliver transformational change. And boy, do we have empowered girls. I should be careful in what I say here, running Rotary right now. You've obviously got a president-elect. It's going to be an amazing one who has such talent and such capability, and truly understands how to communicate Rotary's value proposition on a global basis. And we had that opportunity as presidents to be part of her team, and me as a director as well. The current board also this year, 9 out of 17 of the board, as well as almost the whole of next year's executive committee, are people of the stronger sex, should I say. And we know what you mean by that. The guys know what we mean by that. The power behind the throne at RI will consist of 4 female directors going in to the executive committee this coming year, and only 1 male. And he's a lucky guy, because he's a very, very talented woman. So what a change we've seen in Rotary over the past 30 years, where I know within our region, we struggled in some cases to involve women in Rotary. But I want to congratulate you, because we in the Caribbean have some of the highest percentages of women in Rotary, well over 40% compared to the rest of the world. So well done for that, and keep that going, because I can tell you what, it won't be right, it won't be fair, and it won't be fair to all concerned until it's 51% or over. Congratulations, District 7030. Lastly, and to my mind, probably the most important quality you can have as a president is courage. Be bold. Have the courage to lead, the courage to make difficult decisions, to change. Someone said to me the other day that everyone wants progress, but no one likes change. We as presidents have to embrace the future, embrace the opportunities in front of us. And to do that, we have to change. We have to have the courage to imagine what Rotary in our club and our community could look like, or will look like, once you as presidents and your successors unlock its full potential. Change is scary. It's not taking the safe, beaten path. It's the one that beats you up a little bit back. It takes more time and commitment to achieve, but the destination at the end is one well worth the journey. Many of you have probably heard the quote from our founder, Paul Harris. As I said, I'm sitting literally yards away from the reconstruction of his office in Evanston. He said, if Rotary is to realize its proper destiny, it must be evolutionary at all times, but revolutionary on occasion. He also went on to say, this is a changing world, and we must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again. My friends, if there ever was a more clarion call for transformational change, I haven't heard it. And this is the point we're at now. Paul Harris, we knew we'd be here. And these 2 quotes, in these 2 quotes, has given us the authority to imagine a Rotary where we do things differently, where we do things better. That is the call that Jennifer Jones, President-elect Jen, has given to all of us. Imagine a Rotary, imagine a world, imagine our communities as different, as better. Imagine what we can do. Hopefully you've heard today some of the things that you can do differently to have a transformational year. However, my last point to you is one that I would argue is actually one of the most transformational things you can do for your club right now and for your members. And it's a simple thing. It's to do the basic things right. So that may sound contradictory, but I believe one of Rotary's biggest problems is that we ask our leaders too much, simply too much to do in 1 year, probably too much for 3 years, in fact. It's not so much drinking from the fire's hose, it's more drinking from the whole Caribbean. If we're going to achieve transformational change, to move the needle in our clubs and communities, we most of all need to imagine a Rotary where we do the basics right. Ensure we organize well-run, fun, enjoyable, informative club meetings. Engage our members in inspirational, impactful, and relevant projects and programs. Create a nurturing and caring environment for our members. If you do these 3 simple, basic things right, I assure you, you and your members will have a tremendous year. You'll leave your club stronger, in a stronger place than when you found them. And at midnight, June the 30th, 2023, you can sit back, relax with a glass of whatever you enjoy the most, and say to yourself, I did my very best. My promise to you and your district leaders is that I, District Governor-elect Leslie and his team, Rotary President-elect Jen, and the full resources of Rotary International will be there with you to support you as you start, enjoy, and successfully complete this journey of a lifetime. So let's buckle up, imagine Rotary together, and ensure that your year, my year, will be the ride of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director-elect Jeremy, for that wonderful and inspiring address. We really appreciate the time you committed to being with us for these last 30 minutes. And we thank you for the wonderful information that you delivered to our pets as we are gathered here today. We have taken your words of wisdom, your words of experience to heart, and we shall certainly, as our president-elects and our secretary-elects take leadership roles in July 01, we will certainly engage our members. We will certainly make sure that our clubs provide that caring, that comfort, the atmosphere of welcoming to all our members. We will make sure that our members will all be heard, and they will all participate and engage in our community activities. We can assure you that come the end of 2023 Rotary year, this district will be much better based on the advice that you have given us today and what we plan to do during the incoming year. We can assure that when next you visit us, this district will be better than you met it today. So I thank you very much on behalf of all gathered here for your words of wisdom, encouragement, and inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right, so just to let you know how the balance of the afternoon will flow, I know that we had said that we were going to have a rum tasting on the beach, but the hotel had other arrangements in mind for us, and they have invited all of the president-elects and secretary-elects to a cocktail, which will commence at 4:30. It's for 1 hour, 4:30 to 5:30, which will, you can go immediately from here. It's right at the Radisson here. You have to also, it's a ticketed event, and Michael, who's standing in the back and waving those tickets, make sure you collect your ticket from him before you go out of the door. But we also wanted to have a fun activity this afternoon, and I have 2 prizes, but it's in my luggage. I haven't checked into the hotels yet, but you'll get it tonight. But we really wanted to get you, I know that it has been a long while that we haven't seen each other, and you're meeting new people for the first time, and we want you to get to know each other. So we've planned a very simple, what we call a speed networking activity, which I'd like you to participate in. I did indicate, at least to some persons, that if you walk with your business card, it makes it easier for you. But it's to get you to get to know each other. We want you as president-elects not just to stick within the group within your country, but certainly across the district, because you can actually learn from each other. You can learn from the mistakes of others. So we want you to get to know each other. I know COVID has restricted us having a conference for the last 2 years, but you know what COVID has done? COVID has really connected our district. So persons who didn't know each other, saw each other online. I'm sure you're remembering some of the names. We asked when persons went into those breakout rooms to record some names so you can try and meet up with that person at conference. So I hope you will do so as the days unfold. So the next activity is, before I ask DGE Leslie to close and say the thank you, is to have there it goes. Thank you, guys. This speed networking activity. So what I would like you to do is to stand up, all of you. And if you have walked with your business card, that makes it easier for you to introduce yourself. I certainly would like to have on both sides of the room. if we can have a semicircle, it would make it easier. So if you need to push the chairs in a bit, or if you want, maybe you can just do it like that. It would be difficult to get that in a short time. So I need some time. I need some timekeepers here. Yeah. All right, I know you guys, I wasn't quite finished making the announcement and you guys got up and started to network. But, you know, like I said, I have 2 prizes that will be given out in the hospitality suite this evening. And if you're not there, you wouldn't get the prize, so you have to be there. But I really wanted you to share with me those persons who networked and how many persons you were able to meet, and the person who met, the 2 persons, well, first and second, who met the most persons here would get the prizes. There's approximately 80 persons or so in the room, maybe a little less. So if someone could share how many persons they met, you keep a tab on it. You lose your opportunity because everybody rushed off to 11, 12. We're at 12. How many? Anybody else more than 12? Yeah, isn't that the truth? Yeah, the truth. 14? All right, 14. 15? Anybody more than 14? So we have 14, we have 12, we have 11? We have 11. Yeah, well, someone just said you. Charles, could you remember the names of the persons you met? The 12 persons you met? God, at least one name. At least 2 names of the persons you met. You can't remember the rest. All right, the 14, the person who said 14, you remember? That's one. Okay. Yeah, but clearly you can't remember all the names. That's for sure. That's okay. Enough information. I think so. So it's the, you want to share any names? Or you said 11. You think you can match the 14 names? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, I'll have, okay, I'll have, how do I decide on the two? So I'll have DGE Leslie determine who's going to be the two persons. So it's over to you, DGE Leslie. Which two? Eileen, give it up for Eileen. The prize tonight. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night in the hospitality suite. We'll meet in the hospitality suite to have that presentation. And we have to get a second. It's two prizes I have. Pardon? Tanya, sorry, Charles. Sorry, so sorry, Charles, but you'll get a taste somewhere else another time. Thank you for participating. So Tanya and Eileen will meet in the hospitality suite tonight, and you'll be able to get your prizes, and we'll take pictures and we'll post them as well. All right, thanks. So what you guys should do is continue to try to network. Like I mentioned, this is your opportunity to get to know across the district some of your other colleagues and to benefit from some of the mistakes that they have made so you wouldn't repeat those mistakes as well. Remember what Jeremy says in terms. Charles, you had a point you wanted to say? You can come to the microphone. Thank you. He's coming on the way up. He's passing on.
I want to make a plug. We're networking. We're getting to know each other.
Yes.
Once a month, there's the President's Lounge.
Oh, wow. Later?
Somehow, I seem to have taken it over from Lathon, who originated this whole thing. So we must thank Lathon for it. Where is he?
Leighton, stand up and be counted. Leighton, please stand up so people could know you.
Stand up and be
Stand
counted.
up so everybody could know.
This was his brainchild last year. That the presidents and other invited people got together, and because it was during COVID, so we didn't know each other. And it was a great opportunity to just have a social talk about anything. You could talk about Rotary, you could talk about yourself. PDG Lisle knows all about it. He was there. I have taken over from him. We had one last Friday as a pre-conference, and my aim is to have one on the last Friday of every month. It takes place at 7 o'clock. I will work with the district secretary, Paul, to get the invitations out, and I would love to see all of you there, and then we can even get to know each other better. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Charles. And don't forget, the conference is in Grenada next year, so you're going to hang on to Charles, incoming president. All right, the RI director, incoming RI director, Jeremy Hurst, mentioned about, he indicated some of the things that you really need to do. And certainly from the district level and district training team level, I certainly would like to, encourage you to be the one, the leader, especially the president, to fix the tone, set the pace, embody the passion, and demonstrate the courage to take your club to the next level. All right? Now, DGE Leslie, we are about to conclude our PETS 2022. And I know that, when we started, we really wanted to have meaningful discussions. We wanted engagement. We wanted you participating. And I believe, even if I say so, that we have achieved at least some of those objectives. And I trust that what you would have garnered throughout the couple of weeks that we've been together, you'll be able to take back to your club, certainly in your role as president and as secretary and as leaders of your club, try to create some waves and change in your club. On that note, I certainly wish to thank the district training team for the support. I wish to thank the guy behind the scenes, Sean, who has promised to come, but he hasn't arrived as yet. I guess he's omnipresent. Sean and the IT team, Adrian, Graham, Michael, Neil, and all those persons who supported, certainly for today's activities. The district secretary-elect, Alana, I could not have done all of what we did. I know I depended heavily on you to help me along the way, personally, in planning and certainly setting out the missives to President-elects and Secretary-elects. You did an excellent job. Thanks to all the facilitators, the presenters, who I believe delivered on point and certainly willingly did so. They share their knowledge, they share their talents, and certainly I know some of you will share some of your treasures at this conference because District Governor Sonia is looking forward to a contribution to the foundation. I have to mention that. I have to put in the little plug for her. So on that note, thank you again, and thank you, incoming District Governor Leslie, for giving me the opportunity to serve as your district training leader and certainly to serve as AG. Thank you so much.
My fellow Rotarians, so we have come to the end of our pets. But first, I must really thank those who presented today. I already said thank you to our Director-elect, Jeremy. I want to thank our resident pastor, A.G. Lathan, for your invocation. I think it's now becoming a district invocation. So thank you very much, Lathan. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. Our DG, she's not here with us. She's so busy planning for tomorrow, but I want to say thanks to our DG for her welcome remarks. DG Lisle. Sorry, past DG. Okay. Past DG Lisle, thank you very much for rounding up our pets with your presentation on budgeting. We know that is a very, very important factor in any club administration. And I do hope that your words of advice were well received by our president-elects and would pass it on to the treasurers. Budgeting is so important to make sure that we do not fail in what we plan to achieve for the year. So, DG Lisle, thank you so much for that. I want to thank all supporting PDGs who are here. You have been with us throughout our training sessions. Thank you so much for being there. To our AGs, again, we started with you very early in February, not to mention the introduction that we had in late last year. Thank you very much. We look forward to you supporting your clubs as we go forward. Secretary-elects, you are also included. The district training team, led by Trainer Liz, you have done a tremendous job for all of our training sessions. Liz has selected trainers from different clubs in different parts of the district. And I think they have all done a remarkable job as we along with our training sessions. Thank you so much, Liz. To our translators and our interpreters, thank you for accommodating our French-speaking Rotarians. And I do hope that you did get to grasp everything that went on today. And not only today, throughout our training period. Thank you, team. Our IT team, our Bajan IT team, thank you so much. And I know that we have Sean, as usual, always in the background, backing up everything. So thank you, team, for keeping us through our training period. I just want to close. I just want to summarize what we did with our training. You know, as I said, we had an introductory meeting with our AGs, explaining the roles and responsibilities. And that was followed by our training for our president-elects and our secretary-elects. And we went through club procedures in various forms. We started, you may recall, when we had Michelangelo in our first, as our opening presenter, and he certainly motivated our club presidents into action. He spoke to you on how you should be serving your clubs. Then, of course, PDG Elwin came on meeting matters. He spoke to us on how we should run our meetings, what we should have as our meeting content, followed by PDG Lara, who specifically directed her presentation to the secretaries on the intricacies of taking minutes, recording the most appropriate notes, and being able to present it so that members understood and are made aware of decisions that are made at board meetings, especially. And then we had PDG David and our Rotary Regional Membership Officer, Audley Knight, talking to us on membership engagement. And that is so important, as you would have heard from Director-elect Jeremy, that we must engage our members. It is critical that we all engage our members as we take up our leadership role in July. Without our members, we have no Rotary clubs. So it is so critical that you engage your members. So David and Audley Knight presented on that. And of course, we had, when you have membership and you make plans, you must work to a common goal. And we did have past President Nigel from Trinidad presenting on that. And we closed off the virtual sessions with one of the most important facets in Rotary, building a foundation and what's next. You are aware, and this was made very clear when Director-elect Jeremy mentioned the foundation, and the past district governor Lisle even mentioned it, that our foundation is so important. We must pay attention to our foundation. We must understand what our foundation is all about and why we must contribute to the foundation. Okay, so that was the things that we went through as we did our training, and I do hope that everybody would have grasped the intention of the training so that you can be better informed as president-elect as you go to lead your clubs. So I would like to again emphasize our AGs and present to meet with our clubs early, before July preferably, to assist with the planning guide. You already have your planning guide, which Trainer Liz had circulated to all clubs. It's a very good document, and that can be reinforced by going on to My Rotary, going into the Learning Center, and that will reinforce whatever knowledge you gain from our training sessions. I urge you, President-elects, that Learning Center is critical to really you being a successful leader as we go into the year. I want to also remind you that relationship, again, that was spoken about by Director-elect Jerry, that relationship with your members is so critical to having successful clubs, to retaining members, creating that atmosphere where members feel welcome, where you ask them to make their contributions, their views, to contribute their skills and their talent towards planning your goals for the year. Unless we do not have all of our members on board, we will never be able to increase our membership. So they say charity begins at home. Make your clubs hospitable to all members. We must develop that family relationship with our members as we go forward. That's the only how this district can strive and become stronger. Developing that family relationship among our members. So I urge you, please, and as our President-elect Jennifer emphasizes, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Rotary success depends on that. It provides meaningful leadership, networking, and service opportunities. So I urge you, as you go forward, focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are asked to embrace and exemplify DEI as we go forward. That is what we can lean on to run successful clubs come July 1. So my friends, as our president-elect indicated, come July 1, we only have 525,600 minutes to take action. The countdown starts then, and we must make every minute count. We must do our projects, serve our communities, improve lives, and of course, as Director-elect Jeremy said, imagine the number of things that we can do in those minutes. You know, you can imagine many possibilities, and I ask you to please seriously consider that theme that President-elect Jennifer has unfolded for this year. Imagine how many possibilities are there and how many things we can achieve within our year to have a successful year, to strengthen Rotary in District 7030 better than we were before. So I want to thank you all for being here. I do hope that what was said today and on our virtual platforms was meaningful to you and can help you to lead successful clubs as we imagine what happens next year. Thank you very much.